Good. I believe it's about to be noon. My days are kind of running together. It's Friday. I told y'all I would do a chit chat, get ready with me about what happened the other day. And that I would try to put the videos on here, but I've tried to look and it is so hard to blur out. You can see like the red right there. It's so hard to blur out because he's naked. Him moving around in the videos. Facebook let me post them on there. I don't know the rules with YouTube on that kind of thing. So below I will put a direct link to my page. If I can, I'll put a direct link to that post that has the videos. But I will give a trigger warning. It is very hard to watch. In some of the videos, you could hear me on the phone with 911. In one of the videos, you could hear me on the phone with 911 screaming. You could hear people cussing and screaming in the background because he had gone across the street as well. And there's a few videos and you see him kind of getting taken down by the cops. He attacks the cop's car. But yeah, we'll start there. And there is like, I think I only posted 5 out of the 29 videos on my Facebook because his ex that was at my door from about 5 something, I can't remember the times. They're all kind of, my light keeps blinking. I don't know why it's doing that. Those were hard to watch, and that isn't my place to post those. I've given her those videos, and she has emergency protective order, I believe. But I will start with this. My name is Erica. If you're new here, I'm sorry, this is the first video you're starting out on. The other day, someone broke into my house. His name is Willard Welch. He was 43 years old. And this is the best I could do for right now to show you. Those are all his charges, just from the other day, and the bond for the parole board that for some reason let him out. He now has a where he can't get out until they are finished with everything. He had a 25-year sentence for drugs back in 2018, and it's 2025 and he's out. I'm trying to figure out, after seeing his criminal record, because it's public information, and seeing the amount of messages I've gotten on Facebook about things he has done, I don't know why someone like him was allowed out. I'm gonna try not to cry. But let me go ahead and I'll try my best to let y'all know what I'm using when I use it, but I'm just trying to do the get ready with me. Mentally, I'm not okay. I noticed, I wasn't sure until last night when I was told that he had bonds and that his family was trying to get him a lawyer so that he could get out, because he says he's gonna have to spend the rest of his life in jail. And yes, if I have anything to do with it, he will spend the rest of his life in jail. But I'm gonna use the Angel Veil NYX primer. Or not, that was weird. I haven't used it before, so it was liquidy. I don't think I'm gonna be able to use this. All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to use this. Let me find another primer. Oh Lord. Okay, but the other morning, I believe it was 2 days ago, so the 23rd. It was Wednesday morning. Jason had left for work at around 5:30. And then not long after that, it looks like my ring alarm goes off. And there's a girl standing there. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb because I love my friend that lives in Massachusetts, but she used to call me at like 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning or message me all night about wanting to talk to me. And it just it would wake Eric up, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta put my phone on do not disturb. I have never done that in my life, but it goes to sleep mode at around 11 o'clock, and it doesn't come off till about 8 in the morning. So I think I'm gonna set it to where it goes off at around 5 when Jason leaves for work, so that I do get, after this, I do get messages. I want to make sure I get messages if someone's at my door. I ended up using Real Her, Dream Without Limits. I'm covering his face because every time I look down, I have that piece of paper sitting there. It shows that she came up to the door, and then all of a sudden there's a naked man there with her, talking to her. And she said, please call the police. I don't know what's wrong with him. I found out yesterday that they aren't even together. I thought it was her boyfriend, but it's the father of her son. And he just got out of prison in April, I believe, and was in a halfway house, and I guess he got out of the halfway house. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs. I haven't researched enough yet. But trust and believe I'm about to. I'm trying not to let it consume me. But he got over to her house. He wasn't supposed to be there. She even told him she wasn't going to be home because I guess he had been asking to come by and see his kid. And somewhere in the middle of the night, he showed up, and he was acting very strangely and started talking weird. And all of a sudden he was naked in her house, which, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I was telling someone else's stories, it might be easier. But since it's my story, it's kind of hard. I just want to make sure I'm accurate for you. He started acting weird, and he got naked in the house, which turns out when they did blood work on him at the hospital, he was high on PCP and I don't know if I'm even allowed to say the drugs. He was high on the M word and the P word. Maybe that's better. I don't want to get any marks on me. And he came, and she ended up getting scared because he started saying it's just going to be him and her, and some other things about, she said, well, I got kids, and his answer to that scared her. You can imagine what it was. So she told the kids, like with a look, to leave, basically. And they were to go to the neighbor's house and get help. And she came to ours because she thought Jason was home. And she stood in front of the cameras, and I never answered because, like I said, I didn't know. Jason was on his way to work. That was Urban Decay. I love this one. Jason was on his way to work, and the camera kept going off. And during the summer, we have them on high sensitivity. And during the summer, they don't normally go off so much in the morning. But he didn't think about it. I just realized I'm going to have to use the camera. So I don't know how much I'm going to do of what I got here, because that's hard to not be able to see it. But I don't want to have to get up and get the mirror. He said it kept going off, but he was driving, and he didn't understand what was going on, but he didn't think anything of it. Like maybe there was just a bunch of people in the neighborhood going to work, or someone walking their dogs. Well, after about 45 minutes, she walks away from the camera. And like I said, I won't share I won't even share her name or her face, because I've been in a domestic violence and a scary situation like that. And I don't want that to be out there for other people to see, because that's her story. That's her place to tell that. She ends up leaving. And I guess she didn't have her phone because she was afraid to go get it and him see her when she was at the door. So somehow she got back to her house or the neighbor's house. I'm not sure which one, but she ended up going away and he followed her when she did that. And Sorry, I blank out sometimes. If I hear a little sound, it bothers me. She went back to the house. Okay, I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills blush and latte, and then the Anastasia contour type stick in mink. She went back to her house, and I'm not sure what the conversation was there, but he said something about, okay, I'll take care of it. I forget how she put it. And he came straight to my house across the road, which a video shows him coming directly to my house. I found out yesterday that everybody was outside when this happened and saw him do it, and nobody, it bothers me a little bit, nobody came to help. I don't know if they were already on the phone with the police. I don't know what was going on. I'm gonna say I don't think anybody was on the phone with the police now that I relive some of it and the words I heard in some of the videos after he came in to my house. But he came directly across the road, and if you go to my Facebook page, one of the videos, you could see him walk across the yard past the boat, and then you hear two big bangs that makes my heart stop and makes me jump when I listen to it, because I know what happened when he got on the other side of that door. And somehow that didn't wake me up. But then again, I take medicine to go to sleep, and that night I was up till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because my legs were hurting so bad that I couldn't fall asleep. And I had taken an extra pill around that time because I usually go to sleep and I stay asleep till about 8. So about 6:26, he busts my door down. I don't know how long it took him. I'm going to say, based on the video footage, he directly somehow came back directly to our bedroom. I mean, there's a door open. You could tell there's no bed in this room. There's the bathroom on the other side. Then there's the door open, and you could see there's a bed in there and nobody was in it. And then there was the bedroom door that was shut, and that's where me and Eric was. All of a sudden, the door flies open, and someone's yelling at me, and I jump up, and I look, and there's a naked man in my room yelling at me. Eric speaks gibberish. He doesn't speak. This was butter face powder. He doesn't speak, and he went da 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 or something. I forget what it was, as he's yelling at us, and the guy goes at him, and I got up and moved over in the bed on top of Eric and put my hands up, which I think when he hit me, he must have hit my hand because this hand hurts on the side real bad. I put my hands up and I yelled, no, 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 he's autistic, he don't talk, he doesn't know what's going on. And the most blank stare I have ever seen in my life. There's like no soul behind those eyes. And even, I don't know how close I could get. Even in this picture, it almost shows like, I don't know. It was like a weirdest look I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen, I guess the word is evil. I've never seen evil like that. And he just looked at me for a second. And he said, don't effing lie to me. And he hit me so hard. And said, get up, get your outside. And he went down the hall, and I didn't follow him because I'm not dumb. And he turned around and he looked at me because I started to peek out the door to see what was going on, like trying to collect my thoughts, basically. And when I turned around and looked, he saw me looking at him, and he said, okay, I'm going to start breaking stuff. Not in that nice of words. And I'm like looking at him, trying to figure out What am I going to do? And he looked around, and next to the litter box for the cat, there was a metal, not aluminum, pole. I don't know if you know those curtain rods that you could put, and they got the decorative things on each side, and then it was one of those. And that was Butter Bronzer. And then this is the Tarte Captivating. And he grabbed the pole and told me if I don't get outside, he will be back. And after he walked away, pointing the pole at me, and he started to walk towards the door, and I saw him get past the door, I tried to run up and shut the door, and then I realized I can't shut the door. All the pieces are on the ground. There was broken, the trim, it was so broke that like there was no way the door was going to hold if he tried to come back. So I couldn't go into the garage and get the shotgun and be able to get it loaded safely without, I was scared he would come back and take it from me, and then it would be my fault that other people got hurt or that me and Eric got hurt. So I went to the bedroom and I grabbed both the phones, my cell phone and the house phone, and I dialed 911. And that's when it all hit me. And I started shaking uncontrollably and screaming uncontrollably. And the 911 operator, I was talking to her, and I was trying to explain to her that someone had just broken my front door and attacked me and my son. And she was asking for the address, I think. I gave her the address, and she said, is he still in the house? I'm like, no, he went outside. And she says, can you see him? So in my mind, I opened the front door. Yes, I know, at this point, even the 911 operator, but that's where you could hear me talking to her outside if you go watch the videos. I go outside, and I realize he's at my elderly neighbor across the street's house. I'm going to use this little palette here, and I'm going to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz, or Brow, I don't know what it is. It's a sample. But I realized he was across the street, and I could hear screaming. And I said, oh my God, he's at Ray's house. And then Ray came out, and there's some cussing. And then he follows Ray out, and I start freaking out again. I'm like, he's coming, he's coming. And about that time, this is where I think I kind of traumatized the lady. I'm like, he's coming, he's coming. She said, where are you at? I was like, I'm on the front porch. And she said, get back in the house. Somehow when I was going in the house, not long after I got in the house, the phone disconnected. So I'm sure she was very freaking out. Somehow the phone disconnected, which I've noticed ever since that day. My phone keeps disconnecting while I'm talking to people. So I don't know if I just need a new house phone or what. But about that time I called Jason screaming. He's on his way to work. And I call him screaming that someone had broken the house and attacked me and Eric. And he's like freaking out, and he's like, I'm on my way. And he told the guys in the car with him, he was turning around, that someone had broken the house and attacked me. I'm using this Ulta palette because it was really cute. See these pictures? I'm using the white shade first. But he told them that someone had broken the house and he had to turn around. And at that time, I guess, from what I understand, the guys in the car, one of them told him to pull over, and he drove. And then poor Jason had to watch the videos, not knowing what was going on, and had to watch the videos of what was going on at the house and what had happened, what had transpired, and all that, and so on. He had gone across the street and attacked my neighbors, which I have already talked about. And this is like a gray color. I think I'm going to use that one in my crease. And his wife had a gun. She didn't shoot him because his kids were in the house with her. and she didn't want to traumatize him, and now she blames herself. And I'm like, don't blame yourself. You did what you thought was best in the moment. You were protecting those babies mentally and physically. You were in front of them, and they kept moving because they were scared. So you don't know who would have got hit. Me, I only had Eric, and he's in here. And now I could get to both guns that are in this house within seconds if something happens. Jason showed me how to load them. And after he showed me how to load them, we found a place. There's one right here. We found a place to put them where I could get to them and they're safe, like where somebody else can't get to them. But I could get to them if something happens and I need to get to them. But Ray, in one of the videos, you could hear him coming out of the house, his house, saying he hit him, that the guy had hit him and hit his wife, and he used the K word, and then I don't know what else other words he used. I was in a blur and scared because about that time the guy follows him out, like I said. And I was trying to tell Ray to come in my house, that he was coming, and he says it's okay. After I called Jason, I called my mom. So my mom was on the phone with me the rest of the time. I woke her up. And backstory, Sunday was like the 23rd, 26th year anniversary, 27th year anniversary of my sister being murdered. So this is happening freshly after we just went through that. If that gives you my mom's mind when I call her. And she's freaking out. And my stepdad starts freaking out because they're 2.5 hours away. There's literally nothing they can do. They're helpless. And about that time, I look outside. The police made it. This felt like forever. But if I look at the thing, I think they were here within 5-10 minutes. They were here within 10 minutes from the time I called. Maybe 5-10 minutes from the time I called them to the time the first officer arrived. Well, when he arrived, he told him to put down the pole. The guy's walking towards him saying, "I'm Superman, I'm Superman." I know at least one of you have seen these videos on my page. And it's hard for me to watch. I don't know how it is for everyone else. It's hard for me to watch and listen to because being there and experiencing it and the trauma and everything else is just a lot. And like I said, I didn't realize how much actual trauma I had until last night when I thought he was about to be released, or that they were going to get him a lawyer and he wasn't going to go to jail at all for this. And just so much going through my head. And he attacked the officer. He jerked open the door. He got his weapon somehow, which was scary. Oh, before all that, Ray my neighbor stood in the road and got his attention and told him, come on. You want some? Come get it. And was leading him away. And he felt bad. He's like, submarine I am. I didn't do nothing. I'm like, you did everything. If he saw the police coming and was near us, he could have gone into any of our houses and this could have been a lot worse, but you got him away. And then he had no time to get inside a house before the cops got there. If they would have turned the corner, he could have got in any of our houses before the cops actually got to him. You did everything. You saved us. And he started walking towards the police and telling him, I'm Superman, and yelling. And the cop is telling him to drop the pole. And then the cop tries to move the truck. And then the cop tries to block him in. They're trying to put him in one spot so they could, be ready. And I wasn't outside for that because my mom told me to get in because they still didn't have him under control. On the video, you can hear the tasers deploy. And I'm saying tasers because from what I understand, he was in ICU for a day. Which is why it took so long for all the information to get up on the website. Because I was wondering what is going on. Where is he in his pretty pink suit that they just came out with? And I'll be honest, it's oddly satisfying to see that man in clothes. And in a pink one at that. It's oddly satisfying to see this man in a pink outfit that attacked me and tried to hit my son and did hit me. It's very satisfying. But I'm just throwing all this stuff in my drawer. I'll get to it later. I've been very scattered-brained lately, and understandably, I'm sure. But they ended up arresting him, and they came directly to my house first. Because, of course, after that thing happened with the autistic child that was killed by police because they didn't understand what was going on, I called and have my address down as an autistic disabled person lives here. So they came and they asked if me and my son were okay, and I was still very shaken, and they got my information. They said, did he break in? I was like, yes, he broke the door down. And they came in, they took pictures. They took pictures of Eric, they took pictures of me. They gave me the case number and all that. Yesterday they came by. They've called me every day. They've come by, and yesterday when they come by, I thanked them for being so fast, because God knows what would have happened if they didn't get here fast. It could have been a totally different story, because he was coming back. In one of the videos, you could hear him yelling at me, get outside or I'll be back. Because Ray, the neighbor, asked, is he talking to me? I'm like, no, that was him telling me the rest of the time, because he kept telling me in the house that I needed to get outside. Well, the police officers came and they even checked my door. And they said, oh, who did this? I was like, my fiance. And they said, he did a good job. Is he a carpenter? I was like, no, he's a plumber. So they checked it, made sure it was good. They said they would send me a link to a really good deadbolt type thing that keeps it from being able to be kicked in or something. I've been looking. Every noise makes me jump. They said his bond, according to this, is $952,500. So almost $1 million for him to be released, but he can't be released because they got a parole board warrant out on him, which keeps you there. He's got, just for that day, he's got aggravated assault on a public servant because he hit one of the officers with the pole he took from my house. The emergency protective order hold. Taking a weapon from an officer. Assaulting a police officer / judge. So I don't know where that one came from. Assault causing bodily injury, family violence. Burglary of habitation, and another burglary of habitation. And I asked them, where's the assault on me and my neighbors? And they said the burglary of a habitation is the assault on us, because just the plain assault would be a misdemeanor, and he broke into our houses and assaulted us, and that's a 2nd-degree felony. So it keeps him in jail longer. And it's more of a charge. And I've talked to the parole board wanting to know why someone like him was released, because I got 3 pages of court documents. Those are just the cases. Those aren't even what he was accused of. Those are just the cases that he's had in the court. And I'm sure if I go to get his criminal record, it's full, more full. But he was supposed to be serving a 25-year sentence for being in having a controlled substance up to 400 grams. I have no idea what that means. From what I understand, that's a lot. Along with all his other aggravated assaults. I have had multiple messages from his 24-year-old daughter one from her mom, one from a lady who said she was 7 months pregnant with her now 12-year-old, and that he got someone to attack her, and another from a man, and so many from his family. I don't understand why someone like him was allowed to be able to terrorize people who don't even know him in this neighborhood, or even terrorize his child that was at that girl's house. And that girl, I asked the officers why was he paroled, and he said that is a question for the people you vote into office. So I've already started asking that question to the people I vote into office, and one told me she tries so hard to get it changed. So then I looked up who appoints the parole board members, and it's the governor. So I'll be writing him a letter. My mom will be writing him a letter, because people like this, it needs to be all inclusive. When they are deciding whether or not to let someone out, it needs to look at everything, not just their behavior in prison, because it's easy to behave in jail. Look at his record. Look at what he's done. I counted at least 6 aggravated assaults. 3 aggravated assaults on police officers and taking their weapons from the time he was 18. Drugs, more drugs. All over the court records. And he was still allowed out. All of that needs to be included in their decision. How many times has he reoffended? How many times has he been out on parole and pop positive on a drug test? How many times has he been out on parole? Because he's been in and out of jail since he was 18. Prison, not just jail. And you allowed this monster back out on the streets to attack me and my son in our own home. And it's baffling to me and saddens me that this happened. But there is one thing that I do know for sure, and as crazy as it might sound to other people, looking in his eyes that morning before he hit me and seeing nothing there, that was definitely the devil. And God protected us. He was in that room with us, because I don't know what else he would have done if we weren't protected, because there was nothing in those eyes at all. There was nothing. And it's the scariest thing I have ever seen or experienced, and that emptiness in the eyes. I never understood what people meant by that until I saw it. So that's everything in a nutshell right now. I'm still working on getting a hold of state representatives and senators and the governor and the parole board. The rules need to change. People like that shouldn't be just willy-nilly allowed out on the streets. Especially when you had a 25-year sentence that was given to you in 2018, and it's only been 7 years, and you're back out on the street. That's a broken system, and I want to fix it so this doesn't have to happen to other people. At least not by him or by anyone who has a record like his. So I told y'all I would do this video. It's been a very long one. I will put the link to my page or my videos down below. I'm not even going anywhere. I literally just put this makeup on to have something to do with my hands, because if not, I'm very fidgety. I'm very jumpy. We're still waiting to see how Eric acts after the shock wears off. His doctors said it could take a couple of days, but that he saw a man attacking his mom most definitely will probably have an impact on his psyche. So that's going to be fun, right? Because mommy's psyche's already affected. But okay, I will let y'all go, and I will try to do a Ipsy video, and then the probably not today, because I need to calm down and find my happy place again now that I've told the story. But I will be at every court hearing. I will be at every parole board hearing, or my letters will be at every parole board hearing to make sure he don't get out. I hope you'll have a wonderful day. I love you. If you're still watching, put the prayer emoji in the thing, because I do have stuff I want to give away soon, and maybe I'll be able to get to it in the next couple of weeks. Or maybe I'll just keep collecting so that y'all get a big Christmas giveaway. I don't know. But I want to see who all's active and makes it to the end of the video. And I want y'all all to know I love you. And please, please do everything you can to secure your doors, because we had a metal door and it wasn't secure enough. And I want all of y'all to stay safe. Love you. Bye.